After yesterday's match, I'm finished. That's it. I'm done. Never going to do it again. It's not going to happen again. That's it. Done. Finished. Hello and welcome to the latest CraftySniper's airsoft videos. Now, you might be thinking on the intro I've just done there that, oh god, what's happened now? Am I leaving airsoft? Am I finished? That's it, done. No, that's not what I'm on about. Right, the last event was at Lincolnshire Airsoft Club. It was an absolute blinder of a day. Weather was probably a little bit too hot, if I'm honest. I sweated no end. But like I say, it's been ridiculously hot in the UK for quite a while now, so it was ridiculously hot at the last match. No, what I meant by what I finished with is the SRS. That rifle now is pretty much the best it's ever going to be, because I just had one of the best games I've ever had at playing airsoft, or playing a sniper role, or whatever it is. I just, the whole of yesterday was just so relaxing. You know, it's just so nice just to rock up early, set up the rifle, chrono it, all done, dusted, and away you go into a match and scare the living beep out of everyone it went up against. I swear to God, this sniper rifle is so good. Silverback, I don't know whether you're going to watch this video, but you guys have made one amazing piece of kit. If anyone is out there and they're looking at buying an airsoft sniper rifle, you have got to have a look at the SRS. It is just biblically good. I'm going to say it's a statement I didn't want to say, but I'm going to say it is better than an upgraded Tokyo Marui VRS. And I know that sounds so wrong, because I'm from that age where Tokyo Marui were and are the greatest airsoft company. And the Tokyo Marui VRS G-Spec sniper rifle was the greatest sniper rifle. And don't get me wrong, it is a good rifle. The SRS is just taking it up to the next level. It's that good a rifle. I was firing .48, the heaviest round I've ever fired out of my gun. I've never fired a .48 out of anything. Even my VRS, my sniper, my Tokyo Marui sniper rifle is upgraded, and the closest I ever got was 4.5s. But to be honest, the rifle only ever felt comfortable with 4.3s. This SRS is just looking at these 4.8s and going, yeah, so be it. Boom, straight out there. You know, I honestly do believe that it will lift .5s. I honestly do. I'm seriously, I'm about that far away from ordering some .5s, and I know at the moment .5s they're not white, so it's going to be a right ball ache trying to follow them. But I honestly do believe that when the white .5s come out, the SRS sniper rifle will lift them with ease. Now, there was some things that I actually tinkered with yesterday in my SRS. Because I have my friend with me, Mr. Mark Fairburn, and I haven't mentioned his name before in most of my videos, but I have mentioned him. He's the guy that basically taught me a lot about airsoft sniping. He's taught me how to zero scope, something that I could never get my brain cell wrapped round. And it took us a few hours of him teaching me how to zero scope in a certain way. And the end result now is that my scope is zeroed in as best it can be for an airsoft sniper rifle. I'm getting confirmed kills through the scope at 70+ meters. Against a target that's not moving, I'm hitting 80-90 meters. You know, it's that good. And what Mark has taught me is just, it would have taken me years to try and fathom out how this all works. And if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have got an SRS, if I'm perfectly honest. And I'm kind of glad that I have. Now, he's also got an SRS. He's got the 16-inch covert version. And he's had it for a lot longer than I've had mine. In fact, his, I do believe, is a Gen 1 covert 16-inch SRS. And the work he's done to it, about the same level of work as what I've done to mine, because I've looked at his and gone, that's nice, and just kind of, you know, I started with the copying of his internals, and then I've tweaked them to kind of work out in my Gen 2 26-inch SRS. The end result is now is that we go out as a pair, two SRSs, and we just own the battlefield. And I know that sounds corny and everything, but it is. The enemy just can't get close enough to intimidate you when you've got more than twice the range of their weapons. And it's not just twice the range, you've got twice the accurate range. You know, I can... In airsoft, you tend to see the enemy. You see them standing there, but you know if you've got an AG, you're never going to reach them. Hello, Mr. SRS user. Dunk, round out there, smack, hit, kill. You know, it's that good. And the great thing is that me and Mark, we worked together on sniper rifles and Mark 23 pistols. And we've ended up kind of, when it comes to the airsoft matches, we work well together. We're a little bit different in our play styles. I class Mark as more of a strategic sniper. He's quite happy to just sit relatively in one spot and just hit you from uber long range, whereas I tend to be a little bit more aggressive in my movements. I can do the sneaky stuff. I can get my leaf suit on and just disappear in the foliage and shoot you with a Mark 23. But I like to be able to keep an eye on what's going on around me, whereas Mark is normally fixated on where the target is going to shoot, where it is. So there is a difference in our playstyles, and I kind of think it works well together. I'm able to keep an eye out on anyone that's potentially going to shoot him. I am that sniper hunter, the anti-sniper kind of person. But if the needs are there, I've got a weapon system that can reach out pretty much the same amount of range as his can and smack those targets. And yesterday was just biblically awesome. I actually got a chance to borrow the air brake mouse fart piston. I know it sounds stupid calling it a mouse fart, but that's what everyone's kind of coined it now, by Faceless Sniper, and borrowed one of the pistons that Mark's ordered. And put it into my gun. It's a straight swap for the. I've got the Faceless Sniper heavy piston inside my gun, so I just took that piston out, put the new piston in, the Faceless Sniper mouse fart piston, and yeah, the noise just drops down really low, but the range is still there, the accuracy is still there. You know, you've just not. I mean, my gun is noisy. My SRS is very noisy. It doesn't have a suppressor on the end of it, so you do get a lot of noise out the front end. And without a mouse fart, because I normally run just the heavy piston, it's quite noisy at the back end. Mark uses a heavily modded, he actually created his own air brake piston before Faceless Sniper even got his out there, and his is quiet. We actually did an experiment. We actually had my rifle with the Faceless Sniper's stock version of the air brake piston, and we had Mark's rifle, his 6-inch covert, running the modded one that he's made. And we got a person to stand in the middle, and Mark will take a shot, I take a shot, reload, I take a shot, Mark takes a shot, and it works out that the actual the air brake, the one that you can actually buy, the retail version, is very good. Don't get me wrong. But it's not as quiet as Mark's. Mark's is very quiet. But also might have something to do with the fact that he's got a suppressor on the end of his barrel muffling some of the noise at the front end. Like I say, I don't have that. If I put a suppressor on the end of my rifle, it would be literally the length of a telegraph pole. So, you know, it's kind of not really worth it in my eyes. However, that being said, we also got to try the new kit that we both ordered. Now, Mark's ordered his well in advance of mine, and it's the new edgy internal setup for an SRS. I'm not going to tell you how much this costs. You have to Google this one. It's fucking expensive. But we got a chance to actually try the rear portion, the cylinder, the piston, the spring, and the spring guide in Mark's rifle, and actually started comparing, and I actually got a chance to fire it. Now, I'm a lefty, so my SRS is a left-handed SRS. It's set up like that by Silverback. It's got a left-handed bolt. Mark is the traditional right-handed shooter, so his is right-handed. So he gives me his rifle and says, you know, I've a few shots like, and it is quite different for me to actually fire a gun, you know, and use it right-handed. It doesn't feel right to me. But I noticed the quality. There is quality in the edgy kit. The edgy kit looks fantastic, and the actual smoothness of the bolt pull. I mean, he had a 500 FPS spring in this thing. This was before a match, so we was running hot on this rifle at this point. But we tried the bolt pull, and it's so silky smooth. I mean, you notice it's a 500 feet per second spring, but it is noticeably smoother than my bolt, for instance. We then started working out with different springs. I've got a group of springs, he's got a group of springs, and we worked out that a certain spring, I can't remember what spring we put in it, but we ended up making his rifle legal. My rifle already was legal. I did chrono that. And it just made it easier because we had to use a less powerful spring in Mark's rifle because of the quality of the internal, the cylinder and the piston on this thing is just biblically uber quality. We actually took it out the gun, and I was having a look at it, and the quality of the craftsmanship that goes into the Edgy kit is just fantastic. I mean, Silverback, you did a great job with your internals. Edgy just went and gone one better. Like I say, it is expensive. The fact the whole lot is expensive, the whole rifle is expensive, I expect that. The Edgy kit is very expensive. My kit is ordered. I ordered it last week sometime, so it's still going to be a couple of weeks before I can get hold of it. I've got to test it and whatnot. But what I've gone is for the same kit that Mark has got. Which is because there's two packages on Longbow Airsoft that you can get. One of them, you get the rear end of the portion, the cylinder, the piston, the spring guide, but you also get some other goodies from Longbow. What we've gone for is the full works. We've gone for the cylinder, we've gone for the spring guides, all that, or the rear end, the power, the oomph of the SRS, we've gone for that, but we've also gone for the dual bore inner barrel as well, which is custom set up for the SRS. Now, I've already got experience with dual bores, and I'm quite fascinated how these things work. It's a dual inner bore diameter. There's an airsoft inner barrel is one, or should be, one inner diameter. 6.03, 6.05, you know, whatever. It should be one. The uber quality ones, the Edgies, the PDIs, all that lot, they really get it down to a fine art of making that inner diameter just 6.01 from the start to the end. Dual bore is different. It's two inner diameters. Now, I can't remember exactly what it is. I think it's 6.01 to 6.03 or 6.05. So it starts off nice and tight and opens up towards the end of the barrel. How this is done, I don't know. I've never seen how these things are made. I think it's supposed to give you 100-meter range on a 22-inch inner barrel setup. At the UK limits of 500 feet per second on a 0.2 gram BB, but if you put 0.45s in, I think it's 4.5s or 4.8s into it, you will get 100-meter range in a legal rifle, FPS limit wise, without having to arc the rifle, without having to lift the nose up of it. 100-meter range from a smooth bore barrel, for crying out loud. It's nuts. That's how far this kit will actually make your gun work. Now, like I said, we tried it in Mark's rifle. It's just the rear portion, not the barrel, just the rear portion, and we was very, very impressed. Now, we've got to go back to testing to work out what the actual barrel's going to do. But the end result is I can't wait to get hold of my Edgy kit. I'm loving the SRS, and I'm counting the days down to this thing is actually sent out to me. It's custom made. These things are not in stock anywhere. You place your order, it goes off to where Edgy are based. I can't even remember where in the world they are, but they are quite far away, and they make your kit. And then they send it back out. In this case, I think it's going to the retailer, which is I was ordering through Longbow, and Longbow hopefully will dispatch it to me. So, you know, it's going to be a few weeks before I can get hold of it, but I can't wait for it. So, yeah, I hope you found this video informative. I hope you're enjoying my stories regarding the SRS. It's kind of like a blog video I'm kind of doing on the SRS. I don't see myself ever stepping away from the SRS for a long time. While the weather's like this, you know, I mean, in the middle of winter, it might be a bit different. I might actually go back to using an AEG. But that being said, at the moment, I am loving sniping at the moment, and it's all thanks to Silverback, it's thanks to Longbow, you know, it's thanks to Edgy, it's thanks to Mark Fairburn, you know, it's all that kind of stuff. It's just a wonderful, wonderful time at the moment using my SRS sniper rifle. So I hope you found this video informative. If you have any questions or comments related to the SRS, bang them on over to me. I am more than happy to talk SRS for a long, long time. Other than that, I will see you through my sights at an airsoft event in the future.